If you've ever wondered how many ads should I be making for how much I am spending, this video is actually for you. So there's been a lot of brands asking me recently, how much creative should I be making? How many photos, how many videos, how many ads should we be testing? And it really got me thinking that we actually have that answer. So I put together a calculator to show how many ads you should be making per your ad spend. Now, a few things you need to understand is a philosophy we buy into at my company is that you always want to have new ads ready to go just in time, which I'll explain more about this later, but I want you to understand that concept. The other thing you need to understand too is it's quite nuanced based off of how aggressive you're being in letting things run in Meta before killing it. So for example, let's say I'm selling this mouse, right? Let's say it's $10, right? I probably couldn't make this work with Facebook ads for $10, but let's say it's 10. I'm gonna run ads for this mouse. It's $10, and let's say my break even is $5. Okay, so are you willing to let an ad run for $5 without purchases before you kill it? Are you willing to let an ad run for $10 without purchases before you kill it? 15, 20. So it depends on how aggressive are you willing to be to give that ad and give Meta a chance. Only you can answer that, and I'll walk through some of those decision-making criteria on this video, but that's what's really based off of is how aggressive are you willing to be, or how long are you willing to let those ads run and under what conditions. So let's walk through it. So I get this answer a lot. How many ads should I be testing? Well, let's walk through the different nuances first. First thing you need to understand is how aggressive are you willing to be? So for example, are you willing to be very conservative where you'll let an ad run for 1 times your CPA, which is cost per acquisition, before killing it without purchases? So again, going back to the mouse idea, am I willing to let this run for $5 before I kill the ad without purchases? Because I'm bootstrapped, I have to be very, very granular, specific. Or am I willing to let Meta and the ad have more chance and let it run for $10? Again, if this is my $10 product and my CPA is $5. Or am I willing to be very risk tolerant, let it run for 3 times? See, there's different people and different brands have different methodologies. Typically the bigger brands, they're willing to let things run longer before they make a decision to give Meta and the ad account as much possible chance as possible. I know some 8-figure brands, they'll let things run for a week and don't kill anything, even if it's not hitting any purchases. I know other brands that let things run for 4 times their target CPA or 1 times the average order value. It really depends on you. Typically the brands that are more bootstrapped and more cash conscious have to be way more conservative in letting things run, because if it's not making money, it's not going to hit the target, then you just got to kill it. Whereas other brands where maybe things are going much better, they can be a bit more conservative with that. So it all is based off that. And it's because I want to show you, for example, for our account, when we run brands, we make up rules to run the ad account. So we have rules on if something's above target, do we increase the spend? Do we decrease the spend? Do we add more ads? If it's below target, do we kill the ads? If it's at target, do we let it run longer? And it's all based off of whatever the target. So that's based off of a cost per purchase typically, or that's based off of some kind of revenue trigger. And so those are decisions you have to make and how you determine how many ads you make, because I'm going to show you the calculator now so you can see how you can calculate that. All right, so this is a calculator to help you determine how much creative do I need. And that's the important part. So let me walk you through the nuances. So let's say your budget is $30,000. Now, if a brand's coming to us and the budget is $30,000, we are going to try and spend at least 15% or 10% to 15%, no more than 20% of the budget on testing new concepts. The reason why is there's another philosophy we have, and that is budget allocation is really important for performance, meaning you want to make sure majority of your budget is being funneled behind the things that are proven to convert, and then use portion of your budget to always be testing so you have new ads ready to go just in time. So let's say you have a $30K a month budget and you're going to use $6,000 a month for testing new creative when you need it. So for example, if you have ads that are crushing, you may not need to put that much budget into testing, but if nothing's working, you may need to put more. So we have some brands that are spending 80 grand a month, and we're only testing a couple grand a month in testing because we have so many ads that we've tested that are proven to convert that we're actually what I call very flush at the moment with proven ad concepts, and we're just scaling. We have other brands that literally nothing is working, and so we're spending a little bit more. But whatever your estimated testing budget is, put it here of that 30K. And to be clear, this is testing budget for creatives. Then put your average order value. So what is your average order value for your brand or for that one product line? And then what's your CPA target? So your cost per purchase that that you're willing to spend. So let's say for 65, I'm willing, my CPA target's $30. I want to acquire a customer for $30. And then put here, how aggressive are you willing to be or risk tolerant? Meaning I'm willing to let my ads spend 2 times the CPA target before I kill it without a purchase. So for example, if my target's $30, I'm willing to let an ad spend for $60. And if it hasn't had a purchase after 60, I'm going to kill it and move on to the next one. Another way of thinking about it is I'll let it spend up to 60. And if it gets a purchase, I'll let it keep spending for the next 60, the next 60. Like I said, some brands, they'll do 3 times, 4 times. It's really up to you. Only you can make that decision. Just at some point, you have to understand the more time I give something or I give Meta a chance to work, I potentially will get more learnings. But the other end of that stick is if something hasn't worked at some point, it's probably never going to work anyways. So you have to play this careful balance. And there's different philosophies of how people do this, but I'm just showing you our philosophy. Next thing you want to do here is what's the estimated number of ads that win in your account? This is important. Of all the ads that you make, how many go on to spend a significant amount of money that are proven to hit the targets that you want? Based off what I've seen, the majority of brands and agencies, about 10% of ads go on to actually make money and hit targets, which is quite low when you think about it. If you're like a 50% win rate, that's amazing. 20% is outstanding. Put your estimated number of ads that win, and then that tells you the estimated number of ads that fail. That's important for the calculation. Then what this does is it spits out what's the number of ads you need a month and number of ads you need a week. Now, this looks scary. Bear with me. I'll help convey and show you how less scary this really is. So going back to this example, if you're spending $30,000 a month, you have a $6,000 testing budget. This is making a core assumption that every ad we test is going to be killed, or only 15% of the ads that we test are going to go on to win. Now, there may be some ads that you don't kill right away, but the idea here is I want you to plan for worst case and have enough creative that you need so that if you have more than you don't use it, that's okay. So it also depends on the number of concepts. So for example, how many new concepts are you going to be making? So for example, for $30,000 a month, if we make 5 new concepts a week, then we just have to make 4 variations per concept. So that's different copy, maybe a different thumbnail, just different hook, right? Also, if you're willing to be just a bit more take a bit more risk and let things spend 3 times your target CPA, see how much that lowers the number of ads you need a week. But this also includes variations. So it's really not that much. So for example, if you're going to make 5 new concepts that could be all statics, have just 3 different headlines with those, that will give you the 57 variations you need a month. Now, when you include variations, it's not that much. But what this is important is it helps you to at least know directionally how much content do I really need so that because the state we're trying to get to is I'm going to let ads run and test. The moment I know that ad is not proven to work, I'm going to turn it off and have another ad ready to go just in time. Where people get this wrong, if you want to run the account this way, it's up to you, it's your brand, is they'll let something run, they'll turn it off, but then there'll be days or a week or weeks go by before they upload more creative or new creative. So what that means is you just lost that week or however long things ran before you had new creative ready to go to test. You just lost all that time to potentially find a winner. So this philosophy is to increase learnings and to move as fast as humanly possible is to always have more creative ready to go just in time when you turn something off and you need something to replace it. That's the philosophy. And to be fair, I do know some brands that don't do this. They will just, they'll turn it off and then wait until their next week or their next month where they make more creative and upload more. If you want to take that risk and you want to just have big gaps between tests, that's up to you. It's really up to you what you can handle. For us, my preference is to have new ads ready to go at all times. And so that means I can accelerate my learnings. It means I can accelerate the speed of testing and accelerate the speed of scaling. Because frankly, when it comes to advertising, whoever tests the most wins. Full stop. So if you want access to this ad calculator, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to send it through to people, but keep this in mind. I am not saying that this is the golden rule. This is to help you directionally understand how much creative do I actually need if this is my CPA target, if I let things run at this CPA without purchases, if this is the number of ads I expect to win, and if the number of concepts I make, including variations. So there are a lot of ifs here, but I like this because it tells my team and my brands, this is how much content we need to plan for. If we don't use it all, that's okay. We can always adjust. Like what if, for example, we have a higher success rate? Great. That's less work we need to do. Great. Or what if, hey, majority of our ads, they're spending and they're actually getting purchases, but we need to let them spend longer because we're not quite ready to turn them off. Great. Then this way you're over prepared. That's why I like it, because it makes you over prepare. So let me show you another example. So I showed this. These are the rules, right? So for example, on these rules, for us, we have rules where if something is within 25% of our CPA target, we'll just increase the budget. Or if it's below 25%, we won't do anything. And so that just shows you that if something's at, for example, spending 2 times the CPA and it's like really close to within target, we'll let it keep spending, which means it buys us a bit more time before we need more ads. So there are some nuances to this, but just I like being over prepared because I never want to be in the place where crap, I need ads in creative and I have nothing. So just kind of show you an example. It's not that hard. I've shown this in another video. You know, you can make one concept, but you can make 6 variations for that one concept. So when you think about like that, it's actually not that hard. So that means every week I'm going to make 5 concepts and I'm going to try to include like 4 variations or 5 variations per concept, whatever that calculator shows, just to make sure that I have enough creative that I'm testing. Now, another argument is get better at making ads. I agree. I want to get better at making ads. My team is very good at making ads, but I've never met anyone that has 100% success rate all the time. So if you find that you're getting better at making ads, change that number of successful winning ads column and you'll see the number of ads you need going down. Hope that's helpful, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments about how many ads you should be making. I've been getting this question a lot recently. And if you want the calculator, let me know, but I'll see you in the next video.